Hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching. Today, I'm going to show you how I would modify this Telecaster template to work better with a 24 fret neck. Now, I've been getting this question a lot lately, like how would you add more frets to a guitar that traditionally doesn't have that many frets? And I think what we need to do first is we need to talk a little bit about scale length. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to simplify this a little bit. The scale length means the distance from the nut to the bridge saddles. And in the case of a Fender Telecaster, that is usually 25.5 inches. So the thing to keep in mind is that the relationship of the neck to the bridge has to stay the same. You can't scooch one out or the other away from the other and still have it work. Like I said, I've gotten a couple questions where people said, I want to add a 24 fret neck. Do I need to scooch the bridge forward or back? No, everything needs to stay the same. You really just need to add on to the back end in order to add more frets. So does that make sense, guys? I'm hoping so. So keep in mind, the distance from the nut to the saddles isn't exactly 25.5 inches for each and every string, but the scale length, that is to say the distance between each one of these fret slots, is done mathematically, and it's based on the overall length of 25.5 inches. Okay, cool. So today what we're going to do is, if you were to just tack on 24 frets to this, it'd be over this pickup here and it would kind of look funky. So we're going to do something that's a little slick, and we're going to try to keep the flavor of the classic single cutaway design, but we're going to add some frets for those of you guys who like to wheedly, wheedly, wheedly. We're also going to scooch back this horn so that you're not, having to go like this to play. And I realize lots of guys do that, but we're just doing, this is for us, right? It's for fun. So what we're going to need is we're going to need our body template. We're going to need a neck. We're going to need a bridge. We are going to need a straight edge. We are going to need a fret scale template. I'm also going to use a protractor and a set of calipers, as well as a sharp pencil and my danger glasses. So enough with the bullshit talk, let's get right to it. All right, the very first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna start with a reasonably clean sheet of paper. And if Chris had his way, I would draw out every single thing that I do, because sometimes I sort of fly by the seat of my pants. And which sometimes works out, but sometimes doesn't. So we're going to start with a big hunk of paper, and we're going to draw an arbitrary line right down roughly the center, and that is going to be our center line. Okay? And the next thing we are going to do is we are going to put our template on said center line, and we're just going to get everything lined up, and we're going to draw around it lightly. We'll probably be doing some erasing on this guy. But, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I'm also going to draw some of these other holes that go in here, just because it will work out to my advantage later to know where everything is. Right? Okay. So we'll draw these holes, and that'll help us line up the bridge. And we're looking good. Let's talk a little bit about this cavity right here. I've been getting a lot of flack lately for putting this cavity in my guitars. And it usually comes from other guitar builders who say, why would you put that in there when it's just as easy to drill a hole from the neck pocket to here and then down to there? And my answer to them is, what do you care? It's my guitar. Make your own damn guitar. Okay. All right, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to measure from the end of the heel here back to the end of the neck pocket. Now I happen to know that that's 3 inches on everything, but we're going to go ahead and use our calipers to get that information. Then I'm going to come over here, and on my center line I'm going to put a mark that's 3 inches from the heel. And then with my protractor, I'm gonna draw a line here, and that's going to represent the end of my neck. All right, so here's the line that I just drew, guys, and it represents the end of my neck. So what I need to do is figure out where the frets are in relation to the end of my neck. So I got my neck here that I'm going to use for this project, and I'm going to measure from the end of the neck to the 21st fret. And I don't really care what that measurement actually is. I just want my caliper to match. Okay, so now I'm going to transfer that line to my center line, and that's my 21st fret mark. So I'm going to take my protractor again and draw a line. I'm going to label it 21st fret. Okay. All right, now that I've got the 21st fret as well as the end of my neck established, I'm going to take my fret template and I'm going to rest it on the center line such that the 24, 23, 22, 21st fret lines up with my line that I just drew as well as the center line. And I'm going to say now here is where my 24th fret is going to be. You guessed it. I'm going to get my protractor out one more time. And I'm going to draw a line where the 24th fret will go and mark it up here. Make sense so far? So as you guys can see, based on the drawing that I've done so far, my 24th fret is going to be way further back than it needs to be. It's going to encroach on the neck pickup, and I really kind of need to scooch the lower half of the body back towards the butt end of the guitar. And we've done this with a couple of different things, and it's actually worked out very well. Now you notice it, but we still want to capture that same kind of flavor of the original Telecaster, but add the additional frets. So let me show you how we do that. So I'm going to erase the end of my neck heel line for the most part. Still want a little bit of it. And I'm going to erase my neck pickup because that is going to have to go away where it was. I think I'll also go ahead and erase this line here for the wiring channel because it's just going to make everything a little cleaner. And I really just put it there so I could bellyache to you guys. So here's my 24th fret. I'd like to keep probably a little bit of fretboard after the 24th fret, so maybe like 1/4 of an inch. So we'll put a little line there that will represent the end of the fretboard. And if we look here, you can see that the 21st fret, if you were to draw the line all the way through the horn, is about 5/16 in front of the lower horn. So we could kind of put a little notch right there, and we could essentially scooch the whole template back on the center line until it meets that little mark that we put there. But you know what we should do? We should probably erase a bunch of these lines here because they're all going to have to go away if we scooch everything back. It looks like about 1.5 inches. So that would actually be a good way to do it. We can just come over here onto the heel and put a mark. And we'll line up our center lines again, right? Okay. Get everything looking right, and we'll just trace just the lower half of the guitar. So now you can see what's happening is we've scooched everything back on the treble side, but it's too far. Actually, you know what? Let's do that again. I went too far. I need to just go to. It needs to come to this mark here that I just made, not the other mark. And this is why it's really good to do this on a piece of paper rather than on an expensive wood blank. And you would think that I would learn this lesson, but no. All right, let's go to this line here. And we'll line up our centers again. Okay, everything's looking good. All right, so that actually looks pretty decent. I'm going to average out where everything comes together right down here near the output jack, because I think that'd be a good spot to kind of make sure everything comes together right. And I'm really just gonna kind of blend these two in, sort of like that. Maybe a little more, just until it looks right. You know what I mean? If there's any weird points or anything, I'm going to get rid of those. And erase some lines here. Erase that line there. And we're good. So what we've done is we basically just scooched the lower half back towards the butt end a little bit, and then averaged everything out down here where the output jack is going to go. And now what we need to do is we need to reestablish our neck pickup if we're going to use that. Since this is just on paper, let's do that. We'll put the neck pickup on. All right, so as you guys will remember, here's our center line. Here's our 21st fret. Here's the end of the heel. And here's our 24th fret. And here's where the fretboard will actually end. Remember, it's not just fret and then falls off into a cliff. There's a little bit of a space there. So I'm going to measure, on the original, it's about a ½ inch from the end of the end there. So we'll put the neck pickup right about here, and let's kind of see what that looks like. So again, we'll line up our center line, and we'll put our neck pickup, and yeah, that'll probably be okay. Now remember, when you add frets, everything else kind of gets squished. So whether you have two humbuckers, look at any of those 24 fret neck guitars. If you have any, any of that stuff, the humbuckers are really close together. This would be very, very close together. And that's just kind of the way it goes, right? So let's see what things would look like here if there was a neck on it. Again, we'll line up our centers. So it would look a little bit like that, which is going to mean that you would need to kind of alter your pick guard if you wanted this to look exactly like a Telecaster. If it were me, I would probably go ahead and omit the neck pickup and just rock the bridge. I think that would be pretty neat, and you could probably do a lot with just. Let me get that lined up with just the bridge here and a control cavity and the neck, and you'd have lots and lots of access to the upper register. So that would be a cool thing. Now you could design a neck that actually goes this far into the guitar and then grind off some of that right there to have lots and lots of access. Or you could just buy a guitar neck from somebody with a fretboard that overhangs quite a bit, and that would be a cool way to go too. So in case you're wondering what a guitar neck with a lot of overhang looks like, this is a 24 fret warm-up neck, and it's designed to go in a standard, looks like strap pocket, but it's got 3 frets that actually hang over the heel. So that would be a way to go too. It would look actually pretty neat on this guitar. Okay guys, let's go ahead and wrap this video up. As you can see, having a great big hunk of paper to do some drawing on and do some erasing and do some scribbling and some note taking really goes a long way to making the end result of the project work out great. And you don't need a lot of fancy tools to do this. You just need to use a little imagination and have a straight line to begin with. I would advise that in addition to the straight line, you have the bridge that you're going to use just in case to kind of make sure everything is looking good. Stuff like that. So if you have any questions about what we did in this video, please leave them in the comment section below. If you would like to come to our shop and design your own guitar, think about coming to one of our Build Your Own Guitar Body classes. There's some coming up. Always something coming up here at the shop. If you like this video, give me the thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, why don't you go ahead and click that subscribe button. And if you appreciate content like this, you might want to go over to our Patreon page and consider becoming a member. Even $1 a month goes a long way to helping us bring you guys cool stuff like this. However, if you can't do Patreon, we totally understand it. Share this video as many places as you can think of and help us grow the channel that way. There's been a lot of you guys sharing videos, and it's really, really paying off. We've been seeing a lot of that lately, so thank you to everyone who's sharing videos. Okay, so until next time, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, build it yourself. That's what I do. Thanks for watching, everybody.